Right.
Bro, every interview in this match on the show was just people talking about the match they had coming up next against their opponent. Right. There's like no angles in any of these. Right. There's just like we have a match against person. I'm going to come and bury you. I'm going to talk about my match. Like every single segment. There's another thing they're doing. This next match, I don't know why they keep doing this, but a babyface burial. Okay, Malakai Black versus Griff Garrison. Griff got in some offense and everything and all that, but Malakai Black ends up beating him. And after the match, Brian Pillman Jr. Comes in and he's got the submission on keeping on. Brian Pillman comes in and Malakai Black knocks out Brian Pillman with a kick too.
Oh.
Yeah, right in the mullet.
Bro, they do this. This is with Bryan Danielson in the Dark Order, where one heel is just mowing through baby faces and just burying them. I mean,
Bro, let me tell you one thing.
About that, Conan?
This Griff Garrison character, he comes off to me like a Jericho wannabe. Okay? I'm serious. And I thought him and Pillman had heat last week. And to tell you the truth, Pillman got totally buried in this, but he's been buried ever since he got buried in Cleveland.
Right.
But to me, bro, Pillman and him should fight over the chick. He should get the girl, cheat on her, beat the shit out of Griff Grifferson, beat the shit out of Griff Grifferson, and send him to the YouTube show. That's what they should do. They dropped the ball on Brian, big time.
Yeah, big time. And here's another backstage interview. Matt Hardy was with Private Party and talked about they wanted Private Party as the number one contenders, and Isaiah Kennedy would pound Jungle Boy's on Christmas Day. Rampage
What
and
the
knocked
hell is
Jurassic
that
Park out of
supposed
the This is literally what he said. And knocked Jurassic Park out of the number one contendership for the tag titles. So then they go to Jungle Boy. The Jungle Boy, in an attempt to sound charismatic, said he would shove a piece of coal up Cassidy's. And then Christian plugged some of their merchandise, which was bro. Could you imagine? Christian has gone to that company.
Okay, let me just say
and they're selling merch with a T-shirt with a picture of him and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy on it.
Okay, first of all, Private Party and Matt Hardy don't look like they hang out together. Okay, they just don't look right together. Christian does not look right with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. I mean, they just stuck, a square peg in a circle in both instances. And Private Party is kind of like the black version of Best Friends, or like irrelevant. like oh, big deal. That just seems out of place. Both of them with both group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're just wasting away. It sucks.
I feel like they're trying to do the same thing with Randy and Matt Riddle, like trying to do their own version.
No, but Randy and him got chemistry,
No, yeah, that works, but the other stuff, no.
Yeah. Bro, they're not even close to what Randy and Ed Riddle are doing.
Let me see. Dynamite got. What did he get this week? 1 million finally.
Oh,
wow.
1 million finally.
I wonder
finally
why.
got 1 million.
Probably because of the main event, I'm guessing.
That's what I'm thinking.
I would doubt it. And I just think people right now there's like SmackDown was up, they were up.
People are home for the holidays. More people watching TV.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and Raw is still stuck. Fighting against. Raw had 2 Monday night games that they had to. They had to compete against this past week. So Raw stinks. So Raw's an outlet. Like, you can't even compare Raw's numbers every week, because that's the one show that's just like every few weeks they're drawing a record low number. It seems like and that show is like an outlier out of all these, because it hasn't shown anything positive at all. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, it's Sting and he's trying to fit in and let's all have fun, but really, did CM Punk need to be wearing face paint?
Yeah, that was a little corny.
Everybody's got a tribute to everyone.
What did Darby have on Sting face paint too?
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I don't know.
I'm not sure what that was.
It was pink. I thought it was.
It looked like half.
Sting had some weird
awareness month.
Sting looked like he had the CM Punk thing on his head.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. The show, this is what they do when they and actually, this is probably one of the reasons the show did well, is when they brand the shows and make it like it's a special show. They do better.
That's
You know, what did they call this past Wednesday? It was a special.
This was like the holiday bash or something.
Right. So it's like I'd like to see what their numbers are every time that they have advertised a branded special show.
Yeah,
I don't think you can even argue that. The shows are probably up about 10 to 15%.
That's a good point.
On the norm, right?
The only time I think that didn't affect it was last week was The Winter Is Coming, and they didn't really do much different last week.
No, it didn't break a million, right?
No, it didn't, but it was still up from the week before. Okay?
Maybe it was because people didn't want to watch that 60-minute match.
No, they did watch a 60-minute match.
Oh, that was
But did they advertise that would be a 60-minute match? Or
no, they didn't. No.
I was gonna say because I kept watching it. I'm like, I kept looking at the clock. I'm like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah, well, plus two, it's something that they don't have very often on their shows. It was a title match for the world title.
Right.
True.
They don't have a lot of. How many times did they have world title matches in a calendar year on the show?
Well, Omega used to defend it a lot.
It's not a lot at all.
Omega defended it. Moxley defended it.
Against who? Okay, against who? 3 or 4
I remember
Moxley
defending it a lot. But
there's 52 shows in the year.
Yeah.
Okay. How many shows do you think have title matches? I would say like 7 or 8.
15, 10 to 15.
No way. World title matches? There's no way.
I would say
absolutely
5.
No way, bro.
It seems that way. It seems that way now because Page hasn't defended it. He defended it one time. That's it. You know,
right.
The other guys did.
Yeah, you're right. One time, and that's why it got it. You know, it was an hour long.
He's been champion so long now,
and that could be why he seems like he's a lame duck champion too, because he's not defending it. You know.
Yeah, but honestly, they had an audience for this show. I think they dropped the ball. They should have put a hot angle on this, at least somewhere on this show in 2 hours. This was a 26-minute 6-man tag that has ended with the babyfaces winning, and the only spot of note was when it looked like MJF almost cracked his skull on the floor when he took
that
the
was
dive.
terrible.
It tossed him out of the ring.
Terrible.
But he did have his hands down on the floor, so that saved a little bit. But
how do you explain?
Honestly,
how do you explain that?
The show is very
with that bump. How do you explain that? Did he just not turn at the right time, or he? No,
it's because momentum, and like you take it, like you can't really when you're going straight down, you don't have a lot of time to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he went as like he couldn't take a flat back bump because he would have landed on his.
But ideally,
he was supposed to catch him.
So you're saying
ideally. Stinger was throwing him like a hip toss, so ideally he would have turned, and then the guys would have caught his back. But he didn't. He came straight. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he got lucky. But this was way too long. I thought, like I said, there was no angle here at the end. It was just like the show was just like a bunch of.
This would have been a great.
For the matches.
This would have been a great 15-minute match.
Right. But instead it was 26, and you knew it was going to be long. Because they started like they're all going to the ring at a half, whatever.
Yeah, it was like
30 minutes left in the show.
Like 9:23 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's where I think that I hope they don't screw up, is because they're going to have judges for the next week, and because the hour time limit match didn't do bad in the ratings. I think the numbers went up. Is that if they do this again, like if they have a match next week, and it's and people see it's probably going to go an hour. And because they have judges at the end, and it'll probably come down to the judge. People are probably going to turn off and just come back and
Conan
like later on maybe.
Yeah, Conan.
Are you one of the judges?
Conan should be a judge.
Let me just say this.
What if they brought me in as a judge?
Yeah, that'd be tremendous.
Bischoff, me, Bischoff, and Russo.
They should have. They should.
Russo,
I was gonna say Mark Madden.
They should do it like
right?
the old Flair Steamboat match. One of the judges should be Terry Funk. And I say that only so Disco does his Terry Funk impersonation.
Yeah,
that's been suggested a lot in the mailbag.
Yeah, I think the judges think if they make good judges, that'll probably be part of the reason people watch it. If they bring in some people that
who do you
haven't seen in a while,
what do you think?
Like a Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
I mean, that's good. Yeah, they could probably get him.
Is Flair
get someone worth
Flair?
Is Flair cooled off enough now that is he cooled off enough now that you can use him?
Nah,
not this crowd. Nah,
No, you're right. You're right, CJ.
Yeah, pretty much Disco
trying to get out there.
Yeah, Disco, you should be a judge. So going into 2022, if you were to advise Tony Khan what his next move should be to get to the next level, what would you advise him? What would you tell him?
You're muted, dear.
Use your peep. Oh, are you talking to Disco?
Disco's muted.
I'm talking to both of you.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
Going into 2022, if you were to advise Tony Khan on his next move to get to the next level, to be the number one wrestling organization, what would be the next logical move for him to do?
He's got a lot of. I mean, first of all, the production quality doesn't come even close to WWE. You can't.
Right.
You can't match your production level. You know, then like I said, a lot of these guys, when the guys are in the ring in WWE, they're presented and all look like stars. A lot of times when these guys are on TV and they're all in the ring with their outfits and stuff and what they're wearing, they're even in their street clothes. They like even Bryan Danielson, he's coming out with just a white T-shirt, and you know, it's just different. It's a different visual picture between the two shows. And I think when people are comparing them visually, one of the show looks minor league compared to the other show. And you can't get over that, I don't think. You know, people will just not say, oh, this show looks better. I'm going to watch this show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I would say up the, you know, don't let, you know, less Dark Order gimmicks, you know, less Lee Moriarty's, less, you know, you got a lot, but they have a lot of talented guys.
Yeah, that's...
You know, like Jericho, like, you know, Jericho's on the road, but like he, you know, they keep trying to elevate the mid-card talent by putting the over guys against the mid-card guys when these over guys should be wrestling against each other first and get.
Yeah, why don't they take their top 30% of their stars
and put them against each other?
Yeah, and
like
then
Cody,
and then put all that other on.
You're a booker.
On YouTube.
Off the top of your head, like right now, how many good matches with like, you know, main event type matchups with quality, you know, main event type guys could you put on one show? You could put like 3 or 4 matches of like
the whole show. Every show every match should be great, bro. And I have the same two. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed, but I think the main two things are the main two things. Just go ahead on the production, the way they produce their packages, their cold opens, all that's league above. It's, you know, it's like movie style, you know, cinematic. That's number one. Number two, you know, you've got all this talent that's not being used correctly. All these Captain Joe Morgans and Sohos and all these guys, put them on the other shows, you know, and Rampage and Dynamite should be, because Rampage is only an hour. There's no reason not to be full of great matches and great promos, because you have people that can do both.
Right,
so
and there's no competition, and you have no competition after SmackDown. Just put all,
and you have them there. It isn't like you don't have the talent.
Right.
Who are the tag team champions on Dynamite right now?
I don't even know.
Penta and Phoenix, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Penta and Phoenix, were they even on the show?
No, it seems like they're on the show every 3 or 4 weeks.
Bro, you got the Undisputed Era guys now. You got the Young Bucks. You got FTR. You got, you know.
And everybody thinks the Briscoes are coming in.
Yeah, the Briscoes.
You got to get her time in. You know, that's valuable.
Who?
I mean, I would not waste any time.
Don't forget Private Party
with this Undisputed Era and Young Bucks thing. I know they probably have some long-term angles set up where they split up and they end up fighting each other, but I would just jumpstart that thing and ignite it next week and start doing some TV with those guys. Right. I would have FTR chasing Penta and Phoenix. I would have what's his name? I would have where's Miro?
Yeah,
like what happened to Miro?
If he's not hurt, he's not hurt, they're completely wasting.
He hasn't been on TV much since he lost his title.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
he had like a video a couple of weeks ago.
Then have Miro on Rampage, have it in a feud with somebody that people care about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
take all these people like the Dark Order, like Private Party, all these people, and stick them on the elevation and dark like that.
And where the hell was Hook?
Like damn it. They're trying to elevate guys when they don't have to elevate any guys, because you already have a bunch of guys that are all elevated above the mid-card guys anyway. Just put them all against each other now.
But you have like Christian.
Like you don't have to elevate the mid-card guys right now. You got 15, 20 guys you can put on top here. You know?
Right, you have like Christian, and he's like, I'm like, how many years does this guy got left? Which probably not much. Yeah. And they don't use him. Like, I'd be so pissed off.
Right, Frankie Kazarian, Chris Daniels. There's so many people. What happened to
Lance Kazarian? And
what happened to Lance Hoyt? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Lance Archer's gone. It's just
what happened to Jake the Snake?
Yeah, you don't see guys for 2 months.
You got Cage.
And where's Santana and Ortiz?
Ricky Starks.
What happened to Eddie? Where was Eddie Kingston's storyline
with 2.0
this week?
I didn't see it.
They either
what happened
need
there?
6
You just
more
take a week
hours
off
of
from
TV
that?
time, or they're screwed.
I don't know. Yeah, so whatever.
Wow, that really made me realize how many people are missing from the show.
Yeah, if you think about it, it takes a while, but you're like, oh god, there's like so many guys they don't even use.
Yeah,
and then you keep signing more people.
Yeah. Yeah, but they did a good number on a week that the show was. To me, nothing happened. I mean, it was just like one of their regular shows was just long matches, interviews for the matches, and nothing was really.
Do you think it was
like Malakai Black? Okay, so it's like, what's Malakai Black going to do next now? Like, was that just the end of that? He just knocked those guys out, just to get on.
I would hope. I don't want to see that go any farther.
Yeah, were they just going to get squashed
what if
again?
Malakai Black could he should start. Malakai Black could start, bullying like he did. Like he beat these two kids up. Find another younger who's the guy? Dante Martin and the other kid. He can beat them up and everything. And all of a sudden, Miro comes out and says, "Hey, you want to beat up me?"
Yeah,
he said, "You can take Malakai Black. Hey, the big guy trying to come and." You're not going to bully me, So there's tons of matchups you could put on that show.
You could bully Wheeler, Utah.
Yeah.